Today we will talk about the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, the largest nuclear power plant in Europe, and what is happening to it now. Recently, headlines appeared in the media. A new explosion at the nuclear power plant, the danger of a nuclear catastrophe. Let's find out what is really known, and where is the truth and where is the panic. But first let's talk about the history of the station. The Zaporizhia NPP was commissioned on December 10, 1984. During the Soviet era and consists of 6 EVR-1000 type reactors, a water-to-water power reactor with a nominal electrical capacity of 1,000 megawatts. In March 2022, the station came under the control of the Russian military. Since then, the station has been regularly shelled by the other side. Power lines have been damaged, interruptions have been recorded, shots, shells and explosions have been heard nearby, sometimes just in the surrounding areas. Subsequently, all 6 reactors were switched to the cold shutdown mode. That is, they do not generate electricity and do not operate at capacity. The purpose of such a shutdown is to minimize nuclear risk under uncertain conditions of military conflict. What happened recently? So what is happening now and why is there talk of a new explosion? At the end of September 2025, the station lost external power supply. The 750 kV Dneprovskaya high-voltage line, which provided external electricity, was disconnected. Currently, the NPP is powered exclusively by diesel generators used as an emergency backup source for basic needs, mainly for reactor cooling systems and spent fuel. The Russian administration of the station claims that the situation is under control, that the radiation background is normal, and that the equipment is operating normally. The International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA) expresses serious concern. This prolonged shutdown of the external electricity supply is the longest since the outbreak of hostilities. At the same time, the head of the IAEA, Rafael Grossi, emphasizes that while the generators are coping, the system indicators remain stable, that this is an extremely unreliable mode, and any damage or shutdown of backup systems poses risks. Ukraine says that one of the diesel generators has failed, and warns of a critical situation. At the same time, there is no confirmed evidence of explosions inside reactor buildings or a violation of the integrity of nuclear systems. However, it is worth noting that in the past, explosions, gunfire, and falling shells were indeed heard near the station, especially in the surrounding areas, and sometimes damage to infrastructure. Why is external power outage serious? Even in a cold shutdown state, reactors and spent fuel continue to release residual heat. This heat load must be removed, otherwise overheating may occur. This requires pumps, circulation systems, and controls, all of which require electricity. Without an external source, the stations rely on diesel generators, but they are designed for emergency operation, not for long-term operation. If the generators fail, either due to damage, failure, or fuel shortage, the cooling systems will shut down, and fuel meltdown or more severe emergency scenarios may occur. Therefore, the IAEA and other international experts insist on restoring external power supply as soon as possible and ensuring the reliability of backup systems. So, at the moment, there is no reliable data on the new explosion inside the nuclear power plant or on the destruction of nuclear parts. There is a serious problem, disconnecting the external power supply, and complete dependence on backup generators, a mode that can become dangerous if something goes wrong. The situation remains tense and unstable, and its development depends on the restoration of electricity supply, access by international inspectors, and diplomatic efforts. Keep an eye on reliable sources, and we will continue to monitor the situation around the Zaporizhia NPP. Subscribe to the channel until new meetings.